Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance, and this resistance video is sponsored by contribution from Magic. And here's his story. Hi, Ollie. I was wondering if you know how to deal with narcs in the workplace. I'm new to a group I'll be working with as a trainee for the next 2 years, and there's one person in particular I'm wary of. I took your advice and will be moving out of Narcsville very soon, but sadly not very far. It's the best I could do for now, but at least I'm out of the house in town. I noticed all the subtle jabs this narc has been taking, and I think she's setting me up because I'm the new kid on the block and an obvious black sheep still patching up my flaws and wounds. I've been taking the observe, don't absorb quote well, and it's working, but I'm worried things might get worse and I'll be stuck for what to do if things get bad. I'm not sure if there's a term for this tactic, but sometimes narcissists say something that's clearly about you and your presence to someone else, but make it look like they're talking about someone else or themselves. E.g., narcissist says mockingly about themselves, I have no friends and no one hangs out with me, obviously hoping you react to it. She also sat next to me in the cafeteria and asked, without saying hello or anything, are you on the trial week or... And I told her, oh no, I'm in for the 2 years now. She said nothing else, got up, and left 2 minutes later. She later said to her friend that look in her eyes. My expression to her was completely neutral. I have heard her smear campaigning someone else to her friend, and I thought of myself, oh no, not another one. I haven't acted in these situations, and I know she's just praying. I say things like, you're always on the phone and lazy, or leave me alone. She ain't gonna get comments like that, though. In fact, I asked myself earlier, let's throw her off her game with compliments. And I realize she's quite assertive and always speaks her mind. I don't want to end up fighting with anyone in the workplace, but I'm not sure what to do about someone else trying to set me up to be the scapegoat. Thanks for your advice, Magic. Okay. What you're dealing with here is you know, the type of worker that basically has no confidence in themselves, does nothing themselves, and they get by pointing out everybody else's flaws. So whenever she's pointing her finger at you and doing stuff like that, it's because she's trying to cover something that's one of her own shortcomings. You know, typical narcissism where she doesn't get by her own accomplishments. She gets by trying to point out other people's shortcomings, and that's how she keeps the mirror off herself. And how do you deal with someone like that is, you don't engage it. You keep notes about what you hear when you hear it. You make sure your work is always done. But if people are going to listen to her in the workplace, it could be a very frustrating thing if she's able to get away with it, and a lot of times they are. So really what you need to do is figure out if she's going to be able to get away with this, if this is who she really is, that she just gets by on pointing out other people's shortcomings and doesn't do anything herself. If you figure out that's who she is, then you got to figure out is the company wise to her, or is she just getting away with it? And if she's getting away with it now, believe me, then you're in a company that doesn't give a shit about it. Because if a company wants to see it, they're going to see it. If you have a good boss, they see through that type of nonsense. So if they're getting away with that type of stuff, it's not a company you want to be in. Okay, because they don't run their company in a fair way. They just do whatever to get along. Or if she's, I don't know what she looks like, if it's a male boss and she's cute and maybe that's a There's all types of fact, and I'm not saying that's what's going on, but that's things you have to keep in consideration when you assess what's going on. Don't think that, you're in this 2-year program with this company that you're locked in with them for the rest of your life. I don't even know if you have to stay for the 2 years. If you see that she's going to be able to get away with the behavior, time to go. You got to treat your job, especially early on. Early on, you got to treat your job like you would anyone else dealing with a narcissist. So if your job is aware of it, and there's no way they couldn't be, because, believe me, companies know how their employees are, and they know certain types of employees. And somebody like this, they might deem it just might be easier to let her do this. And as crazy as that sounds, that's kind of the reality of the way companies operate in 2017. Now, if it looks like the company's not going to put up with it, where she's always freaking, and you'll know this by the way she freaks out and how much drama she's bringing, whether the company really going to go along with it or not, then she might be out the door anyway. But if you get any indication that the company is going to go along with it, you got to go. You got to go. Okay? Because where you work and spend 8 to 10 hours a day is important. Especially when you're a young guy like you early on. You don't have to invest yourself early on now for something like this. If you were with the company for 20 years and then this new boss came in and yada, and you're kind of stuck. In your position right now, you got nothing holding you there. You're holding all the cards. So, it's up to the company. And you're going to have to make that determination of whether or not she's getting away with it, and how well it's working. Okay? But you have to keep the mentality of, I'm not locked into this job. I can find another job. I can move on. And if you can do that, okay, if you can have that attitude will also just kind of permeate. You'll kind of give off that aura around this girl, and she'll be a lot less apt to fuck with you anyway. So you got to keep in your mind that I have options when you're there. When you're at work, you always got to try to stay positive, like you have other options, because that's going to give off an aura where she's not going to necessarily want to clue in on you. And she might then choose someone else to fuck with, and then let her be somebody else's problem, and then problem solved. So I hope that helps. Thank you for your contribution and story magic. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on getting out as well. It doesn't matter, it's far, it's your first step out and away. So congratulations on that. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, a narcissist you'd like to expose, you'd like to set up Skype, a phone call, have a private video made, or a Facebook chat, or you'd like to sponsor a video just like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just sponsor the channel in general with a donation, help keep the lights on, the bill paid, the rent, and see the channel expand, that's always awesome as well. You know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. And if you're still unclear, wait for the instructional video link to pop up on the screen at the end of this video to walk you through all of that. And if you're not seeing it, make sure your pop-up blocker is not on. Please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't. And be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been The Narcissistic Resistance. Take care.